right, pretty crazy week. We got the family going through a big move with 2 little kids is extremely challenging, but it's also a beautiful thing. I'm super excited for my family and my kids especially. They are like so stoked to finally have a backyard that they can actually play and run around in. So I'm excited for that. One topic that I did want to discuss this week that I'm really excited and passionate about is how our agency has generated leads. And when I opened up my agency in 2020, we were completely scratched. We didn't have any carriers, we didn't have any customers. We started from zero. So I'm gonna kind of share the formula with you guys as far as how we generated leads to go from zero to almost $500,000 in revenue in less than 5 years, in 2024. So
I wanted to go over this with you because I used this process when I first opened my agency, and I was a one-man show and I was by myself. At the time, I got appointed with, I think it was only like 2 homeowners carriers. So this worked for me. Again, it might not be for everybody depending on the territory you're in. So keep that in mind. Any questions on this, let me know. But let's start with the left section here. It says leads. This is how many leads you're going to purchase and work, right? So generally, what I found is it's realistic to handle about 10 a day. It is very expensive to do that. However, it's good to know in your head how many you think you can work per day, because what happens is if you go to these lead providers and you tell them, hey, I am going to purchase 2,400 leads for the year, they're probably going to negotiate with you and work down the price of the lead, which is going to make a huge difference. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's something really important. I think the initial lead provider we worked with wanted like $15 a lead. We negotiated all the way down to like $9 a lead. Now, a lot of the feedback I get with lead services when I talk to other agents is, oh, these leads are trash. Some of the names are Bart Simpson and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I get it. You're going to get some of that where it's garbage, but the great thing is make sure you work with a lead provider that will return those leads. It's a little bit of work, just like anything else, right? So on average, we find ballpark about 10% of the leads are going to be returned and you'll get a credit back for that, right? I've been working personal leads for, I think almost 10 years altogether, if not a little bit more. And on average, our hit rate, like if we work 100 leads, we're going to write about 8 of them. Somewhere in that ballpark, 8 to 10. So I went on the lower end just to show some of the numbers for you. So if you do that math, 8% of 2,400 leads, you're writing about 192 new policies for the year. Again, these are personal lines policies, and these are homeowners specific. I do not buy auto leads. I don't buy life leads. I don't do any of that stuff. I just buy homeowners insurance leads. And the main thing to keep in mind, what I did to be very strategic with it, is I picked areas. I'm in a coastal area, so I picked areas that I purchased the leads from where State Farm, Allstate, some of the national carriers don't write in because it's too close to the water, right? The premiums are higher and they're a little bit more complex to write, and there's less competition. That's our specialty on the homeowner side of things. So we do really well in that space. And because there's not as much competition, we have good success there. On average, the average revenue that's generated per homeowner's policy is ballpark about $358 per policy. This is without cross-selling. That is just the homeowner's policy. So you could see here, if we write 192 new policies a year, that's with an 8% hit rate. The agency generates $68,736. The cost of 2,400 leads is about $21,600. That's at $9 a lead. And the profit to the agency is $47,136. Now, obviously, if you have a producer, you have to cut that percentage out as well. But I'm giving you an example. If you're just opening up and you're by yourself and you want to purchase leads, this is a way to do it and to show you how profitable it is. You can work 10 leads a day, especially if you just opened. You have a lot of time on your hands. Yes, you should be doing processes and procedures and trying to be involved in the community and things of that nature. But like I said, I found a lot of success in leads. The one thing I will tell you guys is, in order to run these leads effectively, there's a couple of things you need to have in place. One, you need to be able to execute on these leads, meaning if the lead comes in, you have to call them within a minute. It sounds crazy. I forgot the exact stat on it. It was like you're 325% more likely to close the lead if you contact them within 60 seconds of receiving it. So some of the things we did was, it's cool to have the automation in place, have it so the lead vendor goes right into your CRM. So this way, when the lead comes in, they get hit with an automated text message, they get hit with an automated email. And then the most important thing is you call them right away. Like I said, within 60 seconds. That's going to be the biggest thing that's going to impact this hit rate the most. So as long as you can do that, then I think this can work for you. Again, territory plays a huge role in this, right? Like, I think it works specifically well for me because I'm in a coastal area. Like I said, I really hyper niched like the specific zip codes that we purchase the leads in. So if you're in a territory, I'm making it up, like maybe like Ohio, right? And you're buying leads in the middle of Ohio and just everybody writes in the middle of Ohio, your hit rate might not be the same. So it's something you have to test and kind of keep in mind and see what works best for you and your agency. But those are the most important things. You definitely want to know your average revenue per sale. So I would look at, what your average revenue per, if you're buying homeowners leads, per homeowners policy is at your agency, and kind of use that as a baseline. I would look back at least like the last 6 months. And then, like I said, if you're new, you might want to start with a couple of leads a day just to get a feel of it. You want to have a script down as far as, what you're going to say to these people when you call them. It is a little bit more of a colder call because it's not a referral or, somebody inbound from your website. Chances are they might be getting reached out to by a couple of other agencies. So you want to make sure you're on the ball and you know what to say when you call them. And honestly, I believe the only way to get better at that is just by doing it. So I know that could be a little bit of a hard thing to get over, but I'm telling you, after you do it for a couple, you're just going to roll with it. So this is what's worked for us. Again, I started doing this right when I opened my agency in 2020. I did it at my prior agency for years before that. And there's so many different lead vendors out there. You definitely want to call a few, see what works best for you, and kind of take it from there. We use Smart Financial. There's a bunch of different ones out there. Quote Wizard, Hometown Quotes, Quote Rush. I mean, there's probably like 100 different ones out there. So see what works best for you. If you have any carriers that might give you an incentive, like at my old agency, it was a nationwide agency, and they would give us credit towards the lead, which even made it more profitable for us. So if you have any carriers like that that might be willing to invest in that with you, it can help generate more profit for the agency.
All right, so saying goodbye to our house that we've been at for 6 years, and I just wanted to show you guys where LAF Advisors, now Sound Harbor Insurance, started back in 2020. It was actually out of a 3rd bedroom. So if you look over here, you'll see a bedroom here. We still got a little cat in here. This is we call him the podcast cat, because if you listen to our podcast, you'll hear a meow in the background about every other episode. And that's the culprit right there. All right, so we had the bed over in this corner. We had a little TV on the wall that we honestly maybe used once the entire 6 years we've been here. And then this is where the desk was, where I spent many, many, many late nights grinding and just trying to, keep the family happy, grow a business, and build a legacy. So definitely gonna miss this house. It was a great time, great memories, but now we move on to the next level. This is the chaos. Man, there's a lot to figure out here. All right, just wrapped up Thanksgiving with the family. Really beautiful time this year. One of the traditions that I love is we all go around the room and we just tell each other what we're grateful and thankful for. And one of the things that came up that really stuck with me is, to remember to enjoy the moments we all have together, the moments specifically, because a lot of the times, life is just so busy. We're thinking about what we need to do the rest of the day. We're thinking about who we want to become. We're thinking about, what's coming up the following week, that sometimes we just, we forget to do the little things and just remember that the moment we're in is a beautiful place to be in. That's just really stuck with me that somebody said. Just a great time with the family. I got to really disconnect and just spend some quality time. All right, if you couldn't tell, I'm super passionate about leads, mainly because it's something that helped LAF Advisors in Sound Harbor get off the ground when I started in 2020. We still use them to this day in a different capacity, but we still continue to purchase and work leads. So any questions you have about leads, in the comments below, message me leads, and I will send you my playbook on how we at the agency work leads and continue to work leads. And it'll give you kind of an outline of what to say to prospects when you call, how many times to reach out, and things of that nature. Hope you enjoy it.